everyone, so it's day 3 of our It's Showtime challenge. So on Monday we planned and generated our ideas for our puppet show on our mind map. There's my mind map. And yesterday we made our own puppet. Here's my puppet. So what's left to do today is make the script for our puppet show. I wonder if you can remember what a script actually is. Should we take a look on my mind map? I recorded it on there. So there you go. There's the branch that says scripts, and off of there's a picture of a piece of paper with lots of writing on. And a script tells us what to say and sometimes also what to do. So that's going to be really helpful for us putting on a brilliant puppet show. So our learning objective for today is to record a story sequence. So in order to be successful, you need to record a beginning, a middle and an end for your puppet show, and you also need to know how to make changes so that you make your own version of the story. One way to record our script is to use a story map. So first step is to draw your back to front, and then at the top you do the beginning of your story. Along the middle part, it's the middle section of your puppet show, and then the end. So the first thing that I've added to my story map is the setting for the puppet show. So thinking of Little Red Riding Hood, the story starts at Little Red Riding Hood's house. And then in the middle of the story, when she's left her house, she is in the woods. And then at the end of the story, she is at Grandma's house. Now I'm going to keep those the same as in the original story. I'm not going to make any changes there. The next thing I thought about is the characters, the puppets I'm going to have at each part of my story. So in the beginning, I'm going to have Mum and Little Red Riding Hood. In the middle, in the woods, we're going to have Little Red Riding Hood, the woodcutter and the wolf. And at the end of the story, we're going to have Grandma and Little Red Riding Hood. So on my story map, I have managed to put a beginning, a middle and end. I thought about where the puppet show is going to be set and which puppets I'm going to have. Now the next thing to do is to make the changes so that it is my own version of the story. Let's get started. So I'm going to think about the characters first of all and how I'm going to change them. So yesterday on my design for my Little Red Riding Hood puppet, I said that Little Red Riding Hood was kind, she was happy, she loves red. And another thing about her personality that's different from the original is that I was going to make her forgetful. So she's going to be forgetful. And then I think Mum's going to be the same. Because Little Red Riding Hood is forgetful, she is worried. Worried. Okay, and the biggest change I'm going to make to the story to make it my own version is that in my puppet show, the wolf is going to be good. Not going to be a big bad wolf, it's going to be a good, helpful wolf. And then a big change that you'll see in my puppet show on Friday is that Grandma does not get eaten. Does not get eaten. Okay. So I've got my settings for the puppet show. I've got my characters. I've got some changes about how they are: forgetful Little Red Riding Hood, the good wolf, and the fact that Grandma does not get eaten. Now I'm going to think about the things I'm actually going to say, because remember, that's what a script is. So Mum is going to say to Little Red Riding Hood, take some cakes to Grandma, like in the original story. And the wolf is going to be helpful in the woods, and he's going to say to Little Red Riding Hood, Little Red Riding Hood, don't forget to. And he's going to say different things for her to remember. And then at the end of the story, Grandma is going to say to Little Red Riding Hood, why don't you write a thank you note to the wolf? So I've shown you how to record your story sequence using a story map. Now I'm going to show you a different way on a storyboard. And here is another way to record your script. This is a storyboard. So this time, rather than the S shape, we've got 3 columns. The first column has the details for the beginning of the puppet show, the middle column for the middle part of the puppet show, and the end column for the ending of the story. So here in the beginning, there's the setting, Little Red Riding Hood's cottage, the characters, Mum and Little Red Riding Hood, and I've written in blue things I need to remember about my characters. So Little Red Riding Hood is forgetful, and then I've written the characters' names and some of the things they're going to say in my puppet show. So for example, Mum is going to say, please take these cakes to Grandma. And then the same thing in the middle column, the setting, the characters, a note about any changes, so the wolf is going to be good. And then again, the things that I'm going to say. So Little Red Riding Hood is going to say, thank you, wolf. And then the last part of my storyboard shows the ending of my story sequence. So again, Grandma's house is the setting, the 2 characters, a note to say things I need to remember, a big change, Grandma does not get eaten, and then all the things that the characters say at the bottom. For example, Grandma is going to say, you should write him a thank you note. Another way you might like to record your script ready for your puppet show is in the traditional way. So for each part of the story sequence, you have the title. So this is the part of the script for the beginning of the story. Down the side, you have the characters listed that are going to do the talking. And then next to it, you can write a sentence, or if you prefer, you could draw symbols to remind you what you are going to say. So here, the narrator is going to start the puppet show by saying, one sunny day at Little Red Riding Hood's house, Mum and Little Red Riding Hood were talking. And then I know that Mum is going to say, please take these cakes to Grandma. Then Little Red Riding Hood will say, okay, Mum. And then Mum will say, don't forget. And then you would do another piece of paper with the middle part of the story and another piece of paper for the end of the story. Now you need to choose the way you're going to record your script. Are you going to do the story map, the storyboard, or the traditional way of setting out a script? I hope you've enjoyed learning all about writing your own script. Before you begin on yours, you might like to watch the skills video on how to hold your pencil correctly, because you're going to be doing lots of drawing or writing now. Can't wait to see the ideas that you come up with for your puppet show and what your puppets are going to say.